Come on. So, good day. It is a beautiful day today. I'm gonna take a little hike. I'm currently in Saratoga, Texas. This is the Lance Rosier Unit of the Big Thicket National Preserve. It's a beautiful day out here today. The birds are chirping, and brought some food. Gonna make a little meal, and let's see what we got going on. Well, it's kind of windy. Hopefully you'll still be able to hear me. And I packed up last night. Just threw some things in the bag to come out. Didn't know exactly where I was going to go, but I was completely expecting the mosquitoes to be hungry. I went out for a walk a few days ago where I go a lot, in the same preserve, just in a different unit, where I've made several videos out there. And I wasn't filming it. I just went out there to go for a walk and make some coffee. And when I got out there, I stopped. Really didn't have a problem until I stopped, and the mosquitoes were like, "Soup's on." Hear the dinner bell ringing. Let me tell you what. There's some mosquitoes out there, some champion mosquitoes. I think I killed their best stud, but I just kept going. Didn't even stop, just made a big circle, got back to the truck and left. So I was prepared for that today, and woke up this morning, and it was kind of cool. Temperature was really low, winds blowing, but I had packed my bug tamer top, little leaf suit, and mosquito net for the boonie, and brought gloves, so any exposed skin I couldn't feed them. But I've seen a couple of deer flies this morning, but that's about it, which is a good thing. I'm not really interested in getting chewed alive by the bugs, but anyway, figured I'd come out. It's an old bridge over a swamp. We'll see what the bug situation's like down there, and possibly go there, make some food, make some tea, just kind of hang out, listen to the birds, and see how things are. So yeah, as long as you're moving, you can have a bug problem, but you stop for anything, especially the deer flies. Deer flies are kind of bad this morning. But anyway, Saratoga, the Lance Rosier Unit. It's actually a pretty interesting history. If you didn't know any of it, it'd be kind of confusing when you're walking around in the woods out here. This is where did a lot of our small game hunting last year, and a matter of fact, I think a couple of hunting videos I posted was of some squirrel hunts out here. Man, get away, deer flies. Anyway, you'll be walking through the woods, and I mean, when we're out in the middle of nowhere, and you'll just come across fences and various things. little cattle dipping pits, you know, concrete pits for the cows to walk in while they treat them for insects. But this actually used to be a thriving community out here, and with homes and farms and all sorts of things. People started settling out in this area in the late 1800s, and now it's part of the National Preserve. I guess the government come in and bought everyone out and tore down the houses, but there's still fences and remnants in various places out here. You can see where people live. There's a cemetery out here where some of the families were buried early on, going back to the 1800s. But now it's all part of the Big Thicket National Preserve, which has several different units, some on rivers and creeks, and some just kind of out in the middle of nowhere, like this. I think part of it stretches all the way down to the coast. But there's a lot of virgin timber out here as well, so you will see some ginormous pine trees, which is strange. Huge sweet gums, but everything, all the underbrush grows really, really thick, hence the name, the Big Thicket. Vines, yopon, palmetto. I'm yet to see any out here because I haven't spent a lot of time out here in the warmer months, but apparently there's a lot of rattlesnakes out here. I've seen water moccasins because there's some swampy areas. There's a duck pond actually off to my right out here in the woods. From here, probably, I don't know, a few hundred meters. I actually made a video out there one time too. Made some tea or cooked something, I don't remember. Typically when I go hunting, I bring a little bush pot in the stove and make some hot chocolate and things, and just sit back and enjoy nature. But I ran into another hunter out here one time. He's a local guy, and he had I was on my way out, and he had just come out of the woods, and I stopped and talked to him, and he said that there are some big rattlesnakes out here. So I said, well, note to self, I will probably not come camping out here in the summer months. So, but anyway, I'm walking to this bridge down toward the end of this road, and I might have to put on some bug spray. Oh, here's another thing I want to show you. You see this a lot out here. The pigs, man, these deer flies are terrible. The pigs come through here when you're walking through the woods. They have just tore it up. I mean, it's like when you're walking out there, it's like a rototiller has went through there. There's so many, and which, as I stated in another video, which is why when I come out in the woods in this part of Texas, I always have some sort of firearm with me just to protect myself. Pigs are known to attack. They're known to kill people. Hopefully I won't see any, but the evidence of them just tearing everything up, it's just crazy out here. It was one of the first things that I noticed when I started hunting, was just when you're walking through the woods, everything is just soft because all the ground is churned up. Just herds of them. Get away. Take 'em. Jeez. It's ridiculous. Go eat a pig. Leave me alone. Jeez. They're monsters. Vampires. Anyway. So the quarantine is still going. I think the governor of Texas just yesterday extended the stay-at-home orders for another 30 days. Fortunately, there's exceptions to that, one of those being exercise. So, like, our city park is still open, just all the playgrounds and pavilions and things like that are closed, but you can still go walking. So this is exercise in addition to therapy for me. My wife got up this morning and went for a run down at the city park, and that was my first clue that the temperature was a little warmer, because she got home. She was wrapped up like we were in Arctic temperatures, but I think it was only down in the 50s. It wasn't really that cold. It's probably in the I don't know. It's probably in the low 60s right now. But anyway, that stuff is still going on. Fortunately, I can still do some of my work, and I still have an income. There's lots of people that don't. I've got family members that don't have an income due to all this mess. I've got a friend of mine who's lost some family members due to it. So our thoughts are with all those people, including the ones that just experienced the tornadoes due to the storm that come through in Louisiana, and I think maybe even Alabama. That's tough. It's like adding insult to injury. But our thoughts are with them. But there's some good catfish in that there water, in addition to water moccasins, rattlesnakes, and various other things that you don't want to put their mouth on you. All right, we made it. This is a concrete bridge that crosses this little creek, which I don't know the name of it, and it really doesn't go, it just kind of crosses over. During hunting season, I went out there ways. There's some trails off that direction, a lot of palmettos, and so we're going to make sure to stay out of those right now. But just some trails that go back there in the woods, that's also part of it. I don't know the history of this bridge, how old it is. They've kind of dug out on each end of it little ditches where you really, unless you got a four-wheel drive with some really big tires, you're not going to drive up on here. There's a gate on that end, the way I came in, that it's open, just stays open. I've never seen it closed. But this is it. I think I'm going to sit here on this bridge over the water and We'll make some food. Let's be about it. All right, we're kind of warm now, so we'll get out of this joker. I had to stop and put the spray on. The deer flies were, I think they were teaching their young how to feed, and I was the target. So I had to stop. Now I'm taking that layer of protection off. I'm gonna put some more on. Where's that? Get it on these clothes. This is the Rappel with 40% DEET. I have found that to be pretty successful with keeping the flying critters at least somewhat at bay compared to other things. So I got a few of those in my various bags. To be honest, it was about midnight last night when I just threw some things in this bag. I'm not very sure what I got in it. Got a basic idea. Hope I brought everything I need. And I guess we are good. I brought my little sleeping pad just to sit on, as I wasn't quite sure where I was going to go. The bug tamer, that's just the top. It's made to keep the bugs off of you. Brought a poncho. Again, I didn't know the condition of the ground. Big bush pot with stuff inside. Wooden spoon to stir my goodies with. My stove, I carry it in that little Folgers can to have something to tote it in. In England, which I found interesting, if you buy this stove overseas, like in Britain, I've seen some guys over there use it. Australia, I've seen some guys over there use it. It comes with this gray case, plastic thing you can put it in. If you buy it in the US, you don't get that. It comes in a cardboard box with a funnel. That's it. So I got this. It fits fairly decent in this plastic Folgers thing, the 2-pound can. So that's what I got to put it in. Oh, I brought the small Stanley thing in my glacier cup. I think so I can enjoy some tea while I'm cooking, was my thought process. Gloves, the insect bar that goes over the boonie, some cordage, blah, blah, blah. That's what I packed in my bag. Oh, and water. Oh yeah, woo-hoo, good. Because I don't think I brought my Sawyer. So I brought some water. Do my cookings in. The bug spray. But you've seen that a couple times. All right, see what's in the bush pot. I keep it wrapped in a bandana so all the tar and stuff don't get in my bag and all my other stuff. So, what do we have in the bush pot? Let's see. Hot chocolate, oatmeal, and chamomile tea pouches. About the only tea I like. Excuse me. Some chicken breast in a can. Some Knorr pasta sides, the chicken flavor. This is fettuccine and a savory chicken flavored sauce. I don't think I'm going to be cooking all of that. I cooked one of these whole bags one time I went camping It was some sort of rice. And I couldn't eat it all. I mean, I can put some groceries in my face hole, but I couldn't eat a whole bag of this stuff by myself. So I think I'm just gonna probably do half of it. I don't know how many servings it is. It says 1 serving per container, but I don't know what they're measuring that serving with. Maybe a shovel. Oh, always got some ramen with me. I've never used it with this stove. I don't know if it's tall enough, but for my alcohol stoves, this is my wind blocker. This is made out of tin foil. And a lighter. I got lighters everywhere. It's always good to make fire. Yay. All right, that's what's in the old bush pot. And let's get started. I think I'm going to start with some tea because I can be drinking that while my food's cooking. I'm gonna be ballsy and be cooking on the little bumper here on the bridge. Hopefully my stuff won't fall overboard because I ain't going swimming for it. I just buy another one from Amazon. Anyway, this is the Coleman dual fuel 533. Goes out 10,500 BTUs per hour. Whatever that means, all I know is it gets hot. They pump it up. Yeah, it gets hot. Yeah. Kind of windy there. May not be able to do that. So, the little Stanley pot, you've seen that a million times in my hunting videos because that's what I make my hot chocolate in. It's empty. Need some water. This one is great because on the sides, I don't know if you can see that in the camera, it's got the graduation marks. It's in ounces, but 8 ounces, which is 1 cup, 12, cup and a half, 16, 2 cups, and 20 ounce, which is 2.5 cups, I think. I don't know. I'm not a mathematician. I failed Chinese algebra. So, put some water in this guy. Get the eyebrow hair out of there. I don't need eyebrow tea. That's good enough. Turn you down. Put him on the fire. Put the lid on. Now we wait. I'm just saying, if you don't think there's some fish, if you don't think there's some snakes in that, come on. You're out of your mind.
see where we're at. It's been on here a couple of minutes. And we're getting little bubbles. Not quite there. Yay. Yay.
Yep, it looks like our water is boiling at least. So we're gonna turn this bad boy off. That didn't take long. Oh yeah. Rolling, rolling, rolling like a river. All right. Yes, sir. That's some tea. Well, coming out the woods stirs up my allergies. All right, let's do this. My tea's done, and it's very good. So, didn't use all my water, and since this has graduation marks and my Pathfinder bush pot does not, I'm going to use this. There's still some water in there, a little water left in this water bottle. I need 2 cups of water. Spin it around where I can see it, because you ain't pouring the water. I'm going to do just a little less than 2 cups. I need to bring that to a boil. Give some more air to the machine here. Yeah. It holds its breath pretty good. Need some fire. There we go. That was a little strange. Maybe from all the wind, I guess. This mamma jamma heated up. I've never opened up one of those cans of that chicken stuff. First time I'm ever using them. I'm assuming that there's going to be some water in it. So that's the reason I went just under 2 cups. Just under 2 cups of water. So now I got to bring that to a boil. And then I'll add the contents from the bag. Oh, and I didn't even think about it, but I'm glad I brought my Swiss Army knife with a can opener, because that's not a pill top. I've actually got to go around that thing with this to open it up. All right. That'd be about it. I'm sure this is going to go quickly. Oh, the sun's glaring off that thing. Well, I can't see what I'm doing. Oh yeah, there's water in them there heels. Note to self, bring can opener. Water's rolling. Oh yeah, baby. Oh yeah. All right, let's see what the packets say. Bring 2 cups of water, 1 tablespoon, blah, blah, blah. If you got that. Stirring contents of package. Continue boiling 7 minutes or until pasta is tender. You know what? I'm gonna do this whole packet, because I'm hungry. Yep. Got you in there. Let me get this lid up. Come on. Just had you open a while ago. There's in them chunks of chicken. So if you're gonna do chicken fettuccine, then you need chicken. And a big spoon. Stir it all up. Break them big old chunks of chicken up. And they are some pretty big chunks of chicken in there. Maybe I should have showed you the contents of that can. Smells fairly decent. Trying to break that chicken up some. I'm just getting mouthfuls of chicken. Yeah. I say stirring constantly, stirring occasionally. Let's see what she looks like down in the yonder. Still a lot of water right now. So I'm assuming them pasta noodles are gonna swell up and soak up most of that water. Keep the pressure on. I think it's a stirring occasion. Don't want it sticking to the bottom because I ain't got no butter or nothing in there. Yep. The more I smell that, the more I'm ready to eat it. Ready to eat. Now, I don't know if that's supposed to be kind of soupy, but it is. I took the lid off and let it boil some of the water off. So we'll let that sit there for a minute. Found a spoon in my bag. I think it's one of those old Gerber spoons. Marke Tishvan. I don't know. But it's got a little, let's see if this will focus. It's got a little kid playing with a puppy on it. I don't know. Looks like, I don't know. Sure there ain't no ants down in there. I'll just sit and have a little table. Well, I'm not big on the videos where you watch people cook something out in the woods, whether it be on a fire or stove, and then you watch them eat it and you hear them chewing and smacking and oh, that's so good. Yeah, I'm not really down with that. So I'm not going to regale you with my eating sounds. However, I'll show you what it looks like. If we can get that in their camera. Looks pretty good, actually. It smells good. But I will taste it for you to let you know in case you're interested in purchasing some of those dollar packets at Walmart with the $1.20 can of chicken. Smells good. And I've cooked over campfire so many times with this pot that when I cook with it on the stove, it smells like a campfire. So Anyway, let's taste this and see what it's like. Ooh, that's hot. Actually pretty good. Like, I would eat that in a non-camping environment. So I'm gonna get busy shoving this in my face hole, and we'll be back with you when it's done.
Here we go. I'm gonna do this as fast as I can.
So we're all packed up. Ooh, there you go. We're all packed up, and it's time to begin the long trek back to the truck. We're going to take the same route that we took coming down here, which is just walking down the road. There's a cemetery back there. It's where I parked at and just walk down here. Again, in case any of you want to come out here, this is the Lance Rosier Unit of the Big Thicket National Preserve, and it is in Saratoga, Texas. That's where we're at. Yay, and it's nice and windy today, and finally the deer flies, I guess between the wind and the bug spray, decided to leave me alone. So there you go. All right, so let's tear down and take off. Okay, I'm going to stick this last video in here. I recorded it, but didn't know if I was going to add it or not, but here it is anyway. I'm going to have a serious moment and share a sad story. These cypress knees that are sticking up here, and they're all along the bank. Every time I see those, they remind me of something that happened on December 27th, 2009. And due to everything that's going on now with this virus, this might be a time to share this story and honor not only of the people that have passed away from it, you'll see the connection, but to all the emergency personnel that are working. I was dispatched to a traffic accident off of an interstate. A family of 5 was in a minivan. They were traveling from up north. They were going to Florida to Disney World or Disneyland, whichever one's there, I'm not for sure. But the interstate through that area is 3 lanes each way. And according to the witnesses, this van was traveling in the far left lane. and something was going on in the van. This family of 5 that was in there, mom was driving. They, according to the witnesses, the van braked really hard and shot across all 3 lanes, headed toward the shoulder. Don't know if there was some sort of emergency situation going on in the van. Don't know. You know, the safe thing to do is signal, change lanes one at a time, get to the shoulder and stop as quickly and safely as possible. I'm not judging her. It's just based off what the witnesses had said. What she didn't realize was that she had just passed an entrance onto the interstate that come from a paper mill, and an 18-wheeler loaded down with paper had got onto the interstate and was traveling in the right lane. I don't know whether he was speeding. State troopers worked the wreck, and I haven't seen that report to know what happened, you know, the results of it. But as she's on the brakes really hard, scooting across the interstate, 18-wheeler was in the right lane, and they met. And so now he's shoving her. And off the side of that interstate, it's real swampy, just like this out here. They went off the interstate, went through a barrier fence that keeps the large animals from getting into the interstate, and they just started plowing through the trees with that big old heavy truck shoving that minivan, just smashing it. That minivan was caught between the trees and that 18-wheeler. And when they come to a rest position, the only maybe the back 10 feet of that 18-wheeler was sticking out of the swamp. So when I got on scene, you know, other drivers had saw the wreck and had stopped, and there were people that had ran out in the water. Matter of fact, when I come to a stop, a woman was coming out, and she ran up to my car and wanted to know if I had a bag, a breathing, like an ambu bag with the mask on you put over people so you can breathe for them. She said her husband's a doctor. Now she's screaming at me. She's in a panic. She said her husband's down in there, and he wanted to know if I had a breathing bag. And I did, coincidentally. And so real quickly, I ran to the trunk. I grabbed that. I handed that to her, and it was just super swampy. I got on the radio, told them I'm going to be off the air because I have to take all my gear off to get out there. And I did. And anybody who's either been in a wreck or have worked accidents or been around them, you know that they have a distinct smell, whether it's the hot coolant, the power steering fluid, the airbags popping. There's a certain smell, and that was a strong odor that was coming out, just that wreckage. And so I start wading out there, and it was full of cypress knees, and some of them were covered up by water, and so you're tripping over them. It was December, so that water was cold, and to not get in any deep details, there were several children in that van, and I was out there for 8 hours. The end of my shift came, and I just stayed. Helicopters were coming to take people out. It was a terrible, terrible thing. And so every time I see either a Honda Odyssey van or these cypress knees, that comes back. And this past December was 10 years. And trust me, every December 29th or December 27th, I think about that. So what's going on now is, you know, we have this virus that's killed over 20,000 people just in this country, and the numerous sick. I'm not for sure how many cases that we have of it, but the people who are running ragged is all of your emergency response people, you know, the doctors, the nurses. And so not only do they have, you know, to think about things when they're at work, about bringing stuff home to their family, illnesses, you know, they also see things that, you know, some people never see or only see it in a movie. But, you know, all of these responders, these law enforcement, firemen, EMS, they all see this stuff, and it stays with them. And so keep them in your thoughts, in addition to all the sick people and the family of the deceased. Keep your emergency response people and doctors, and keep them all in your thoughts. And if you're a praying person, your prayers. But anyway, Sorry to share the sad moment, but just being real.